Hello and welcome to the Psych Legal Pop Podcast, a podcast where we talk about popular culture through the lens of an attorney and a therapist. So I am Tess Brigham. I'm the therapist. My sister Brooke is not here with me right now. We wanted to share with everybody. We've been doing our Patreon for about 6 months now. And we wanted to share with everybody sort of what our Patreon is like so that people can get a sense of it. So we're going to be sharing with you the first 15 minutes of our weekly bonus. So this weekly bonus is for both the $5 and the $8 tiers. And in the weekly bonus, we talk about whatever's happening in pop culture. Brooke usually talks about a particular case. I might bring in some sort of mental health issue. And then on the $8 feed, you get weekly bonus episodes, but you also get an exclusive true crime episode and an Ask Us Anything. So here you go. I hope you enjoy.
So this week, this happened since our last episode. Ghislaine Maxwell was transferred to a cushy, like the lowest security camp. They don't even call it a prison. They call it a camp. This is where Jen Shaw from Real Housewives of Salt Lake City is serving, and Elizabeth Holmes. And so they got a waiver. This is unheard of. They got a waiver from the Bureau of Prisons to have her transferred there because one of the rules, because it's a low security camp, is that sex offenders aren't allowed to serve their time there.
Mm-hmm.
And she's a sex offender.
Yeah.
So what is she doing there? And I think, so we talked about this last time, that this guy, Todd Blanche, who's the second in command, the Assistant Attorney General of the U.S. and Trump's former attorney, went down to where she formerly was in prison in North Carolina to interview her.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that this transfer was already negotiated. I think that's why she agreed to even meet with him. They had already arranged for this transfer. And she said, okay, then I'll speak with you. And, because they're just trying to protect Trump. They're trying to find out, what do you know? How inclined are you to say something? What would you do if somebody asked you something, under oath? And then she came out and said that she would only testify to Congress with immunity or a pardon, which means that someone has asked her about testifying in front of Congress. And God, this is just so sleazy. This whole thing is so sleazy.
Yeah. The whole thing is gross. The whole thing is completely gross on so many levels that all of these people are protecting these men.
Yeah, they're desperate to protect Trump
and whoever else is on that list. I don't know. I mean, is Trump the one that has the most to lose? Maybe there's someone else on the list that has more to lose. I don't know.
Well, I think Trump probably has the most to lose since he's the sitting president.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Even if it came out that Bill Clinton went to that island, well, we know he did. I think he's in those flight logs.
Yeah.
But even if something came out about him, look, we already know all about him.
Yeah.
He's not the president anymore.
And he's not going to run for anything anymore. So
no, it would be embarrassing, obviously.
Yeah. Well, and he might lose some. I mean, I assume that he's making money now by speaking gigs.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe he might lose some speaking gigs. Maybe he might not be able to command as much money. Maybe he'll lose a book deal. I don't know. But I think then as time would go on, we would forget about it. So is your prediction that Trump is going to be able to somehow skate his way through this? Because I'm starting to think that Trump is actually the devil, because nobody can seem to get him to, be accountable for anything ever.
Yeah, no, it's true. And even these things that he has been, held accountable for, there doesn't seem to be really much impact in his life. What? Okay, so he was ordered to pay like E. Jean Carroll, I can't remember what, $80 million or whatever. I'm sure he's still appealing that.
Oh, God, yeah.
I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. Maybe at some point she might see some money from this, but it's a drop in the bucket to what he's making off of the new Trump coin.
Yes,
whatever grift he's doing, right?
Yeah.
He can't do business in New York anymore after that, case. Okay, well, so what?
Yeah.
He just goes somewhere else and does business.
Yep.
He just keeps finding some other way to make things happen for himself. And I just think till the day he dies, people are going to, or as long as he's in power, especially as president, everyone around him is going to try to protect him because they want to be in power. They want to be near power. They want to, even if they don't even really like Trump, this thing about power, it seems to be insatiable to some people.
Yeah, I know. People just, and all of those shows that I would, House of Cards and some of these other ones. Yeah, I don't get it. Why do you need all this power? And I get it. People want influence because you can influence people, you can get things that you want, but it always just feels like it's never really true power. It's more of a constant, willing to do this over here to get power over here, willing to sell this person out or use this relationship to get power over here. It always feels like it's just constantly moving. Right. This ball is constantly moving. You never really have it. But I was kind of hoping that Epstein would be the thing to take him down. And now I'm just like, oh, of course it won't be. No, I don't know why I keep thinking this stupidly. That something's going to do it.
I think Trump is just, I don't think I mean, I guess when he dies, that'll be it.
Yeah. Well, he made some sort of pact. He made he made a pact with someone because I don't know how. I don't know. And again, don't believe in hell, but.
Well, I just think
I'd be fine if he went there.
He's the most shameless person to ever live. He just doesn't care. He'll just do whatever works for him in the moment. But another Trump related story. So the Sean Combs defense has filed this motion. I was listening to the Mark Garrigus, Harvey Levin, Two Angry Men podcast. They were talking about how they had a guest on, actually. It was this woman who is part of his defense team, Diddy's defense team. And they have filed a motion to basically dismiss the case, arguing about the Mann Act and how this is not a Mann Act case and it never should have been. The legal arguments that she was making sounded pretty persuasive to me, and talking about the history of the Mann Act. And I was, this is just not what the Mann Act was meant to do. And so, I don't know, she had me kind of going, well, this sounds pretty good. Maybe they'll get rid of it this way. But allegedly, Trump, because he said he's considering, pardoning him. And he's waiting until the sentencing to decide what to do, because this could get thrown out on this motion. The sentencing could be, credit for time served. It could be nothing. But I think if Diddy gets a significant amount of time, I think he will pardon him.
Yeah.
And they were talking about how, because this is the Southern District of New York, which is the arch nemesis.
Yes.
These people who have been trying to prosecute him and did prosecute him for that business case with his company, and, been going after him for years, and he hates them.
Yeah.
And, he identifies with Diddy probably as being targeted,
Yes.
And so.
Yeah, I've let that go. Diddy's not going to do any significant time.
No.
And what I wonder, though, is, and this is the other thing, Trump is shameless, but he desperately, desperately wants, he wants respect and, he wants power because he thinks power is going to provide him with respect and love and admiration. And, the irony is that yes, you're powerful, but no one respects you. And even those that claim they respect you don't respect you. And I wonder about Diddy too, if what's going to happen to Diddy is a little bit like OJ, where, okay, you come out, you still have your money and you still have, connections and all that, but you're not exactly the toast of the town anymore. Like, I don't know who's going to show up to your white parties. Right. I mean, who's going to show up now? And I swear to God, if we just go right back to the way it was, I lose my mind. I mean, so he's got to be a little, I mean, at least there's some punishment in that, because Diddy wants love and admiration and respect too. So maybe, right? Because OJ never really got over the fact that, everyone hated him.
Well, yeah, he couldn't play at these golf courses anymore. His friends, his quote unquote friends, I mean, a few of them were loyal, but yeah, like everybody else was just like, yeah, I don't want to be seen with him.
Yeah, the A-listers, the really big A-listers. Yeah, hanger-ons, losers, Z-list people are going to hang out with you, Diddy, but, you're not going to get the access that you had before.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that just needs to be enough, I guess. I don't know. It sucks.
God. Okay. So we talked about this. We both brought this up that Lonnie Anderson, who was best known in her career as being on the show WKRP in Cincinnati.
The show was only on for 4 years?
Yeah.
Which is so crazy, because I feel like the show was a big part of my childhood. And I was like, oh, wait, it ran from 78 to 82? I was like, oh, wait, in my mind, it like ran all through the 80s, but it was because I watched reruns. That was a good show, I have to say.
It was a good show. They had a lot of like characters, and it was actually based, the guy who wrote the show, I think he based it on a real radio station that he had worked at, and just all the different characters. Because, you have the sports guy who's like this, and then you have the news person who's like this, and these different personalities. And she was like the receptionist?
She was the receptionist, and she was kind of this blonde bombshell, Marilyn Monroe.
Her name
Jane
was
Mansfield.
Jennifer Marlowe. Her name on the show.
Jane Mansfield.
Yeah.
So she was this beautiful receptionist that was very smart, and people underestimated her. And
so she was 79, and she was married. You looked into this. She was married to Burt Reynolds for how long?
Well, they were together 11 years. They were only married 5 years. So apparently they met. See, this was the other thing that I didn't quite know the timeline of, because I was young. But, Burt Reynolds famously dated Sally Field, and has said post this that she was the great love of his life. That was the big regret. Was I don't know what broke them up. Did he cheat on her or something? Like, he's always, when he's talked about it, he's always talked about like his biggest regret was Sally Field and how he treated her, and him not being able to make that work.
Well, yeah, then he must have cheated.
What
was the movie they did together? Was that Smokey and the Bandit?
Smokey and the Bandit. Yeah. Okay. So at the time, so in 1982, when they met, the WKRP had ended. And I think she did a bunch of like, it's kind of what these actresses did. They would do a lot of these movies of the week, and I think that's what Lonnie Anderson pretty much did. We're like movies of the week and commercials here and there. And they met in 1982. They married in 1988, and they were married from 1988 to 1993. But they were kind of like this it couple of the 80s, sort of this quintessential, like if you think about the 80s, this quintessential. But I guess now, as he's reflecting back, he talks about how, I think, I don't know, he hasn't really come out and said like he never loved her, but like apparently they had a really rough marriage. Like it was never
good. Is he still alive?
No, he died.
Okay.
He died in 2018.
Okay.
So, but apparently his mother was telling him not to marry her. And they both had affairs. They adopted a son, which at that time was kind of unusual. Like we didn't hear about that. They adopted a 14-month-old named Quentin in 1989. And, but apparently like he accused her of spending so much money. She accused him of spending money. And apparently the divorce and the fighting, and they could never get past whatever happened. And But Burt Reynolds, I love, this is how he said it. He's like, and she cheated, and then I in retaliation cheated on her. And then it turns out that he had a 2-year-long affair with a cocktail manager. I'm like, okay, that's not just sleeping with someone randomly to get back. 2 years is a long time to have, in a long relationship. But she then made some claims that, again, these are claims that she made, that he was abusive. I don't know. I think they were a toxic couple. But rest in peace, Lonnie Anderson. I'm glad you're. She
seemed like a nice person.
I
didn't heard anything bad about her.
I liked her a lot more than I liked Burt Reynolds. I think Burt Reynolds is kind of an arrogant.
It's very cocky.
Yeah, piece of shit. So I always felt like when I heard these stories about the two of them, I always kind of sided with her because I kind of felt like, because has anything ever besides this marriage, the back and forth with this marriage, has there been one controversy with her at all? No.
Not that I know of.
So that to me means that it was something about this marriage. So.
Yeah. Anyway. Toxic relationship,
yes,
like you said.
Lonnie.
We loved you.
Yes. Rest in peace. I wish they still play WKRP in Cincinnati. That was a great show.
It was. WKRP in Cincinnati.
Yeah, it was like up and down the dial. Maybe you and me. No, wait. No, I'm getting that mixed up with something else. Anyway, great show.
Yeah.
All right.
So,
anything else?
Well, we didn't talk about the Trump Sydney Sweeney post.
Yes, let's talk about that because I think I talked about Sydney. The controversy was just heating up when we last recorded, and now it is like taking over the world. Everybody is talking about it.
Sydney Sweeney, because she was like heckled or like she was going to a premiere or something and people are yelling at her and it's like, oh God, don't do that.
Yeah, everyone's like they want her canceled, they want her right, and that to me that is not fair because listen, Sydney Sweeney is an actress. She reads the lines on the page,
right?
And again, I would like to say, I think that this is a DEI issue. This is a DEI issue. You did not have a diverse enough group of people putting this ad together,
right,
to recognize that maybe that it might not, that there's some issues with it. And I think it was a DEI issue. And I think, again, Sydney Sweeney, she's an actress. She's going to show up. And then all these people are like, oh, we should cancel her. And why is she doing stuff for American Eagle anyway? And it's like, well, I'm sorry, but this is probably, she's getting what's offered to her. I'm sorry, but Dior is not going to offer her a contract. Dior has Nicole Kidman and Charlize Theron. She's a TV actress. And we learned that she's not making a ton of money from these shows, which I totally believe. I don't think Euphoria is paying her anything. White Lotus, all of these things that she's been doing, I really don't pay her. I bet you anything, this was a really nice payday for her. And so I don't blame her for taking it. It's
that
not her
Euphoria
fault.
Show is not even, I think they suspended the show because, the guy.
Oh, yeah.
The main character guy,
August.
Yeah.
Died.
I'm trying to find the full, it was on Truth Social and I'm trying to find the full, post. But anyway, he basically says, he finds out that Sydney Sweeney is a registered Republican, and that makes him real excited.
Mm-hmm.
And so he posts this thing saying that she has the hottest, with all caps, hottest, ad out there. Oh, here it is. Let me read it. Sydney Sweeney, a registered Republican, has the hottest ad out there. It's for American Eagle, and the jeans are flying of the shelves, typo, and flying of the shelves in quotations. Go get 'em, Sydney. On the other side of the ledger, Jaguar did a stupid and seriously woke advertisement that is a disaster. The CEO just resigned. The company is in turmoil. Shouldn't they have learned a lesson from Bud Light? And Bud Light is spelled wrong. Mm-hmm. Which went woke and essentially destroyed in a short but very woke campaign the company.
What?
The market cap destruction has been unprecedented. Billions of dollars lost, all caps. Or just look at woke singer Taylor Swift.
Yes.
Ever since I alerted the world to what she was saying on Truth, all caps, that I can't stand her. Does that sound like someone who's competent?
No. This person is leading our country. It is frightening.
And this is okay. It's typing.
And he is a 70
a.m.
I would just like to say he is a 79-year-old man. He is commenting about the looks of how old Sydney Sweeney? 27,
25
It's kind of gross. Yes, she's legal, but it's gross. All right. That's it. Just a little taste. So if this episode, these last 15 minutes that you've been listening to, if any of this got you interested or excited, or you wanted to explore more, please go check us out at patreon.com/PsychLegalPopPodcast. We, like I said at the top of the hour, we do a weekly bonus. This is what you just listened to. And we also have true crime and an Ask Us Anything. And a lot more stuff too. So hopefully you enjoyed this and you're going to go check us out on Patreon. If not, that's cool. Please continue to listen to us here on the free feed. And if Patreon's not your thing and you would like to continue to support us, we always so appreciate 5-star ratings and reviews. They really do help us. And you spreading the word, telling friends, making sure that you're subscribed to the podcast, all that good stuff. There's lots of ways to support us if Patreon's not in the cards for you right now. All right. Thanks so much, everybody. Talk to you next time. Bye.